Well, the weather for the whole of the south of England will continue as it has for the next few weeks. It's going to be hot and moist, with temperatures rising steadily as time goes on. There's a chance of steamy moments as we move into the... sod it. We never wanted to do this. We never wanted to be weathermen and women making innuendos about hot atmospheres and drizzly countries. We didn't want to be child-friendly. We didn't want to bang on about being for over 18s only. We want to talk about our sexy adventures. We want to be lifestylers, leaping from bush to bush as we sail down the rivers of British sex clubs and mountains of crazy experiences. The cheeky purple mamba, the liquid silk pumped liberally into our hand, the rodeo classic brief harness complete with Tantus curve, the Enjoy Pure One stainless steel dildo, the hot octopus digit, the ever so short messages on Fab Swingers, the sexy friends on Twitter, and the mighty vanilla alternative. With my best girlie by my side, we'd swing, swing, swing.
Get in the gym or to your car. With our advice you could go far. We fuck things up and we make mistakes. And talk about our sexy dates. It's getting hard for this to rhyme. Just as well, cause it's bed hopping time.
Hello and welcome to episode 118 of the Bed Hoppers podcast. My name is Mr. H.
I'm Mrs. Father Christmas.
What? Mrs. Father Christmas?
Yes.
Not Mrs. Christmas. Mrs. Father.
Yes.
Mrs. Couldn't be farther away Christmas.
Do you know what? I had something really witty in my head. That's a lie. and then you surprised me because I was like, oh, 118. And then I was like, oh, I don't know what it was now. I'm going to be Mrs. Father Christmas.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us today. We have got some exciting stuff to talk about.
Do you want to come and sit on my knee and tell me what for Christmas?
What the fuck is it? Where is this going? This is taking
It's Christmas, isn't it?
It is.
We're supposed to be festive.
We are very near Christmas. We're also very near my birthday.
Maybe I've had too many festive nogs.
Well, we've got a Negroni with us today.
Are we interviewing them?
Yes, we're going to interview them one by one and see what they've got to say for themselves.
I wonder what their alcoholic content's going to be like.
Hi. Why did you ruin so much of my year? Why? Anyways, Mrs. H, you ready to talk to
I'm back in the festive Nog spirit.
Oh, good. Not the guy from Deep Space Nine.
Who's he?
Nog.
Nog?
Yeah.
Is that genuinely a Star Trek character?
Yeah, we've only been watching like 7 seasons of the thing or 6 seasons.
Are you making this up? Is there genuinely one called Nog?
Yes.
Is it an alien thing?
Oh my God. All right. Anyway, let's go on to the updates that we've got for you today. Hopefully, very soon we'll be able to announce some information about our social. We're trying to push ahead with it. We're trying to get a venue still. We're trying to sort it all out. We are working hard in the background, we promise you. And we are still aiming for the date that we mentioned, which was...
And the 4th of February.
Oh, good. Thank you. Are you going to add this much value throughout the whole thing?
I need to know, is Nog like an integral character that I've missed?
Fairly, yeah.
Throughout the 13 weeks of Deep Space Nine we've been watching.
You've been more interested in Deep Space Wife.
Right. Okay, so it's something to do with Odo.
Oh, no, we're not going to discuss Deep Space Nine on the show more than we have to. I mean, it is clearly one of the better treks.
Nog. Right, got you.
Is that how you're addressing it, just by repeating Nog?
I had a passing thought, actually.
Are you all right?
If young Mr. H had access to Negronis when you were much younger,
yeah,
I wonder what direction your life would have gone.
I wouldn't have liked it. It was probably too bitter. I was very much, I liked a sweet drink, as I still do.
You liked a bit of reef, didn't you?
I like a bit of reef.
A bit of tropical stuff.
Yeah, place your hands and all that sort of stuff. But, as I've gotten older, my tastes have gotten fouler.
More bitter. But refined.
More refined and more expensive. So, which explains quite a lot about my life. So, yeah.
Sorry for the segue.
You're not sorry at all.
No, not at all.
You're just rambling now.
There's musings in my head.
Amuse-bouches.
Yes, that.
Okay, so things that we have been up to. So social, we've been working on in the background and trying to get this locked down. We're waiting on an email to confirm things, and then we should be able to release it to our patrons, then to the people that came to the last one, and then to everybody else.
Yes.
All right, does that make sense?
Absolutely.
We diggity with that?
Yes.
Yes, diggity.
Okay.
Not no diggity.
No, I'm sure that's something really hip and like street that I
I'm
don't
really
know.
sure it's not.
Okay.
I'm really, really sure it's not.
Social version 2 will be amazing.
Yes. Coming up soon is New Year's Eve.
And Christmas is before
and Christmas and my birthday, as I've mentioned a few times. I'll keep mentioning my birthday.
This is your birthday month.
It is my birthday month. Anyways, the cool
Yes.
thing about New Year's, we're hoping to have a few people around to our house, which will be cool.
It will be
Assuming that the country doesn't get locked down once
cool.
again.
Oh my God.
Assuming that everyone tests decently or whatever it is that we need to do.
The whole thing is a massive dog's breakfast.
But I'm very much looking forward to having a few friends around our house and just having a nice time.
I'm going to have a few sherries,
Well, yeah.
a few nogs,
A few snowballs.
a few snogs.
A few snobs. Are you going to snog?
Oh, well, that'd be telling.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
You might be there.
I might be there.
Yeah.
I might get to watch if I'm
Play
really
your cards
lucky.
right.
Oh, thank you, dear. Brilliant. I look forward to this and the month of my birthday.
Exactly.
Exactly that. Right. So what else have we been up to, wife?
Well, we've been travelling a bit.
We did a bit of travelling.
Well, you did. I came with you, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. So I drove.
Yeah, because you're masterful at driving.
It's because I think.
Yes.
So
go on,
you
what is
tend
it?
to blame that your car is too small for such long journeys.
It's tiny.
However, I actually think it's because you're just a bit lazy when it comes to driving.
You sit on a throne of lies.
I think I've hit a nail on the head with a nerve.
Mm-mm.
Maybe, but anyway, there would be some deeply disturbing thoughts about that little pink thing going across the motorway and across the country. But we did travel.
We did.
And who did we see?
We have recently seen the delightful Miss Clitbang
Mm-hmm.
and her sprightly other half.
Okay, Essex Sprite.
Yes, that's the one.
There you go. You were trying to remember
I
that.
said sprite then.
You said the word sprite.
I
That was
did.
all you could remember,
did.
really, wasn't it? So we had a very sort of last minute, hey, you guys, based off a random comment on Twitter.
Yeah.
What are you doing this weekend? Could you come up and see us? And
so we did.
well, I was on a sort of Christmas night out. So I sort of came home and discovered some 30 odd messages.
But you had started.
Yeah, I may have made the initial.
Innocuously on Twitter.
I may have made a jokey comment about, hey, let's see you this weekend.
Shocker.
Which then turned into a real thing, but we got to see them this weekend.
Yay.
So we got to travel up and stay with them over on Saturday night, which was really, really cool. The house is absolutely delightful. And I'm sure she'll have posted pictures of the view from her window a number of times.
I think she posts a picture of herself, Starkers by the Christmas tree.
Probably. There's a number of those going round.
She was under strict instructions not to bite me.
Yes, she was. Well, I wasn't going to get to that, but okay,
I think it was quite important.
Okay, so the part of the deal, if there is such a thing about us visiting them, was that she was not allowed to bite you.
She was not allowed to bite me.
And she promised that she was going to be on best behaviour.
Absolutely.
And was to have a ball gag with her in case she needed it at all times.
I can only assume I'm just really, really biteable.
Well, yes, you are very biteable. But she's also bitten me a few times. I noticed how that wasn't part of the bargaining.
You can do your negotiations.
Thanks. So you negotiated the weekend while I was out and about, and this bit was neglected to be mentioned.
Oh, I can only assume you like being bitten by her.
There's a small amount that I don't mind a little bit of biting, but I don't like being bruised, which is tricky and difficult because I bruise like a peach every single time.
Do.
Like you look at me funny and I'm already bruised.
I'm looking at you funny now.
You're looking at my what?
You're funny.
So we decided to go up there and stay with them, and their house is amazing, and they cooked some wonderful food for us, and we had a really nice little chilled out time.
It's very, very intimate.
It was really nice,
It's
just
very nice.
hanging around, catching up on all the stuff that we've been up to over the last, 8 months or whatever it's been since we saw them. Filling them in all the gossip since the Borgie, that's right. And it was strange being back in the Borgie venue, which is, we'd obviously been there for that.
Stayed in the same room this time.
No, we didn't. We didn't stay in the same room.
I did.
Okay. Yeah. We all stayed in the same room.
There you go.
Yeah, you didn't cross the threshold,
No,
or
didn't cross any
you didn't go
thresholds.
in another room while I was in another one.
Didn't
there
get
was
swept upstream. No.
None of that shenanigans. We had a delightful game of Gut Ahead.
Oh my God, that's really good.
I really enjoy Gut Ahead, which is like a kind of naughty Pictionary if you've never played it. Highly recommend
You
that.
should never play it with me because I'm terrible.
Well, this is true. We had some Cards Against Humanity as well. Always fun. And then one of the things that we sort of discussed with them, and that we've had a conversation with them before and probably spoke about it on air, is that whenever you enter this sort of swinging lifestyle, things go on really, really late.
Oh, I see.
And we've often sort of wondered, is it possible to be done and have all the nice sexy times done before it's redonkulous o'clock in the evening?
Do you think it's because everyone is, even if they're experienced, they still feel a bit nervous about progressing?
I don't know. I think part of it is that I think that we are very social creatures, and we like to chat, and we like to know what's going on, and we like to know what people or who people have been up to, and have all those great conversations and all those gossipy goodness bits.
Yeah.
And then before we know it, we've actually gossiped and talked and chatted and played games
But
throughout
I also
the evening.
still find, even now, like years on, I still get that nervous energy that kind of envelops me a little bit sometimes. And you kind of almost feel a bit consumed by a bit nervous to progress things or...
Well, it is interesting because I didn't particularly feel that about Saturday, but I'll come on to Sunday.
Okay.
Because I think there was a little bit of that there on Sunday.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe where I'm kind of getting that feeling from. Maybe.
Okay, well let's go on to Sunday in a bit, but let's talk about what we got up to on Saturday night with that delightful pair. So she suggested pretty early on, I say early on, I mean, this is what, like 11, 10?
Yeah, that is
10.
early.
This is pretty early for one of our evenings, that we all head up to the bedroom. And it's what was really interesting, actually. So you were really, really touchy-feely with her.
Well, yeah, she's really attractive.
Well, she's lovely. She's adorable. And also incredibly naughty.
Well, yeah.
And not to say that he isn't, obviously. But you were very interactive. Before any sort of naughtiness was going on, you were very touchy-feely, very...
We were quite tactile.
Yeah, very tactile. And that's quite unusual for you.
You mean with anybody?
Yeah,
or...
generally, I don't get any hugs or touches. Not quite true with me, but generally with people that we're not, because we've met them a few times, but not a massive amount of times.
Well, there's probably a reason why I'm sometimes not very as tactile as maybe I would like to be with people.
Okay.
So if there's maybe some play on the cards with a lady, then I'm very aware that it's not something you particularly get much out of. And I'm always slightly nervous and slightly hesitant to go overboard on showing any level of sort of tactile affection in case you get a bit like, where's this going? Where's my attention kind of thing? And that's happened in the past where you've not enjoyed a situation. And whilst I think you're okay for me to move to that place, I'm also aware that it doesn't do anything for you.
No, it doesn't. But it was interesting because I did notice that you were being particularly tactile.
I know.
And this, you're not normally that tactile, right, whether it's with a man or a woman. And I've seen you be tactile with both men and women and both at the same time before. But it was interesting that it's the first time you've done that for a little while, and you've been that sort of touchy-feely, stroking legs or, touching hair, all that kind of stuff.
I find it really attractive, and I really wanted to do more.
Yeah.
So that's not to say I don't find other people attractive. I think it's just because I'm very, very confident in the fact that I know she finds you attractive. I'll say that on air. I'm fairly sure she'd agree with me. So I think I felt quite secure in the knowledge that if I was to go a little bit further and show her a bit more, affection in that way, hopefully you wouldn't get the vibe that, I'm not enjoying this and where's my kind of fun.
I think you also have a little bit of history as well in that you had sort of asked before to kind of go and play in another room with her while we were at the Borgie. So I think there is an element of that sort of still hangs around. Yeah. So I think, there was definitely a case of where you were introducing a lot more tactile play. And it was interesting for me because I had to, at one point I was like, there's a lot of touching going on between them. And I'm like, I just need to calm the fuck down. Don't worry about it. Take a step back and things will come back to me, like the bare necessities.
So were you jealous?
I wasn't jealous. It was
envious?
Just that, yeah, I think envious is probably a little bit more close to the point. It's the fact that there's a moment that's starting and I can't, or I'm not really involved in that moment.
Because you're not invited, or because you think actually you shouldn't?
Little column A, little column B. So I know that you two were really keen to play together and to make out and do all this sort of stuff. So I was very much trying to hang back as much as I could, but there was also that internal struggle because that's not my natural stance. And then because I'm not involved, I'm like, well, what's in it for me? And not to that extent, but that's like, I feel the creepings of that.
Is that where your mind immediately goes to?
I think so. And so I, put on my grown-up pants a little bit and tried to sit back and let things unfold a little bit more. rather than just diving in and interrupting what was clearly a moment between you two.
Is it like showing someone your new Transformer before you've had a chance to play with it?
Yeah.
Hey, look at my new toy. Don't look at it too much. I haven't played with it yet.
Yeah, that's it. Don't touch it. You can look at it, but don't touch it. No, it's not so much that. It's very much a case of, I know you wanted that exchange. I know she was really keen on that. I know, well, he seemed absolutely fine sort of sitting back for 5 minutes and watching it unfurl. So I was very much of the take that actually, if I just let this go, things will come back to me, which they of course did. But my initial go-to is like, why am I not involved in this? Where's mine? Where's
and of course you kind of are involved in a way because you're in the room with us.
I'm in the room, but I'm watching, but I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not touching or being touched.
Really not sit back and watch something and get enjoyment from it. And that's not a challenging question. That's just me genuinely interested in what. For me, if I sit back and watch a sexy liaison happening in front of me, it does turn me on. I'm not saying I want to sit and watch things all the time, but I can appreciate watching someone being turned on and you turning somebody else on, for example.
Well, it's interesting. I think these feelings typically develop right at the start of a playtime. And there's a panic that I'm not going to be involved and I'm going to be left out. And I think that stems all the way back to childhood and God knows what else. But actually, once we're involved in, once I've been involved in the playtime, actually, is probably the truth of it. Once there's been a level of me being interacted with, then actually I come right the fuck down about it. And there have been moments where I've sort of sat back and watched what's going on. And, there's been times when I've played with someone and you're still playing around and we've sort of finished and we've sat back and watched that. And actually I'm fine with that. And I do find that a bit of a turn on, but it's almost that initial bit where it's all starting to get sexy. There's a worry, there's something that I'm just going to be left behind, I think. And I know that's not the case.
No.
But it just come into my head. I can't help it.
No, I'm interested as to what triggers it, really.
But
come and sit on my couch. Let me psychoanalyze.
Well, why do you keep trying to get me to sit on things? First it was your knee, now it's your couch. But actually, it was a moment where I recognised that it was happening. I just sat back and I'm like, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be cool. Everyone will interact. But it was just, I could feel it creeping in a bit, and it didn't impact my enjoyment of the evening. It clearly, that we're talking literally 5 minutes.
Exactly.
Really. And, in the grand scheme of things, I've waited for PlayStation games to load longer than 5 minutes. But it did, it's just recognising that that's something of a trigger in my head and trying to control it better.
That's interesting. And I've always known that is endemic in you. But you're just hardwired, I think, to feel that rush of, all right, balance and fairness is key. But also, you don't like being left out.
Well,
I know that.
It's that in a way. It's that sort of, and I recognise which side of my family it comes from and which parent has probably influenced that the most. It's also the reason why I rush through my tea, because if I don't eat it, it will get taken away from me or someone else will eat it. And now here I am 43 years later, nearly 44. It's still in me. I can't change that behavior, but I can try and influence it as I feel it happening and try not to react to it.
Because I'm always very aware of any interaction I have with women. I almost, in my head before it starts, I immediately sort of set an internal kind of timer almost, because I know how you feel. And I'm almost worried to the point where it can, I suppose, possibly ruin my own enjoyment, because I'm worried so much about you watching and not getting anything out of it.
Well, the difference is that you do enjoy watching a lot more than I do.
Yeah.
So if
I
you're
can
not
tolerate it, definitely.
Yeah. So if you're not involved and you're sat back and say we've got a single lady around, quite often you will sit back and watch for a bit, and you seem to be enjoying that. Yeah.
As long as at some point I'm very happy to be involved. But I'm also very, very happy to observe.
Yeah, whereas I'm less happy to observe.
So should we just give you some toys to play with?
It's almost that.
Go and sit over there on the floor and wait for the ladies to finish.
Well, it's not that, because I like to be involved with what's going on. So, I can't occupy myself with anything else, because I know that's happening. And that's what I want to be involved in. I want a part of that action. And my drive is very much, well, when am I involved in this? Am I going to be? And then it very quickly is am I going to be involved? And it's like, I'd like to be involved. Why aren't they involving me? And it is that, and I'm better at controlling it now than I ever have been, and I recognise the signs. But I think it is a default that creeps in very quickly, particularly, and not actually, to be fair, we didn't have very much to drink at all that night. It was a very efficient night, shall we say. But, there's been times when I've drunk too much and that has crept in and my brain goes into defense mode and it's like, stop everything. You're not enjoying this. Let's go. Or this is over. Because I struggle to control that emotion, particularly if I'm not in a good space.
No, I get that.
So now that we've pondered over my lesser instincts, as it were, or my more base instincts, let's move on to some naughty instincts.
Where you were involved.
Where I was involved. And, I did sit back for 5 minutes and you two were making out and all sorts of stuff. And then I was involved. Magically, It happened. As if I'd have, thought about it and it shows up. It just took a while to get there.
It wasn't even a long time.
It wasn't a long time. But if you're concerned that it's not happening, every second that you're not involved feels like a million years because you're not involved.
Okay.
And I know there's a level of maturity to that, or immaturity, should I say, to that way of thinking. I'm fully aware of that. But that doesn't mean I can't just turn it off. But I can try and influence it as it comes in.
But you'd like it even less if we sent you out the room while it was happening.
Oh, fuck off. I'd be like, well, why are you going?
If you can't see it, it's not going to bother you, right? No, that's even worse.
No, because I know it's happening. That's like. All
right, what if you don't know it's happening?
Oh, good grief, woman. I don't think that's ethical non-monogamy. I think that's something quite different.
Managing your emotions.
It's not managing any emotions.
Okay, I'm jesting. I wouldn't do anything like that.
Well, we'll see.
Wouldn't.
You wouldn't go into another room and do something while I wasn't aware of it.
But the difference was you were involved with someone else at that point.
Oh, there we go. You use that as a bait and switch.
You were playing with some toys.
There we go. Exactly that. So we did have some really sexy times with them, which was really, really fun. Anything you want to pull up as a highlight?
Oh, as a highlight?
As a highlight. What were your highlights?
Well, I did very much enjoy the 5 minutes of Lady Tap My God.
And not a minute more.
No, it wasn't a minute more.
It was more than 5 minutes.
It was not. So I think as a highlight, I liked the fact that it was very interactive, 4-way kind of we were both involved.
Yeah.
In fact, all 4 of us were involved is what I meant.
Yeah.
It felt like we weren't just dividing and separating and going to different corners of the room. It was very 4-way interaction. Mm-hmm. And I really, really like that when I get the opportunity to experience it. It's one of my favourite kind of scenarios. Mm-hmm. And I also find myself more likely to ask for what I want in that situation.
Yeah.
Because there's infinitely more opportunity with 4 people than there are 2.
Yeah.
And I find myself asking to see things or do things or orchestrate different kind of positions so I can get the maximum enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
So that was one of my highlights, probably, that I was given that kind of 4-way intimacy, and I was able to kind of ask a little bit about what I wanted to see and ask people to move into various positions so that
such as, come myself. On, you can't just say that. You've got to.
I can.
Let's just have an example.
I think at one point I was lying on my back and I specifically asked Clitbang and Mr. Sprite if they would maneuver themselves so they were directly kind of over my face. Mm-hmm. You were fucking her, mm-hmm. and she was on all 4s, and she was basically sucking Mr. Sprite whilst they were both over my face.
Yeah.
And what I wasn't expecting was for it to be such a deep throat action. So I got lots of audio from that as well. But it was really quite hot to see it like literally over my face.
Literally over your face.
Literally over my face. That kind of spit roasting Clitbang over me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's quite hot.
That deserves a t-shirt in itself, I think.
I watch Clitbang spit roast over my face. That's quite a snappy title on a t-shirt.
My friend got that and all I got was this lousy t-shirt.
Yeah.
There was a moment actually where you were bent over and he was fucking you from behind.
Oh yeah.
And I was fucking her. And that was quite hot. Because you seem to be putting your ass right up in the air because of the height differences in the bed. He's tall. And also the bed, you were on a bed but that was really nice because you two were sort of...
I was able to kind of
interacting a little bit and see her face. And
yeah, it was... The fucking was too hard for us to kind of like kiss without like breaking each other's faces. But it was really, really nice to kind of be face to face with her and see what was going on.
Yeah, so it was really hot to see that happen while I was fucking her, to see you sort of, and to be fair, actually it went from fucking to a complete railing from both sides of the bed, didn't it? I think it went to like, sometimes the ladies, they like the hard fucking.
So says Jet Black.
Sorry?
So says Jet Black.
That's right. And that's exactly what was happening for a grand finale, which was...
Did you guys Eiffel Tower like high five each other?
No, I have a sneaking suspicion that she may have used the words Eiffel and Tower.
She did,
I think at one point. So, but that was it was a really hot experience. But it was also really nice in that it was sort of over before midnight.
Yeah.
And then we were able to spend sort of a nice hour just calming down, having a cup of tea, very British.
I remember making the joke that, as Brits, we've arrived and now we'd like a cup of tea. And then we sat in a snug and had a cup of tea.
Exactly.
It was really lovely.
That's what dreams are made of, right?
Yeah, it was really nice.
What was really nice is the next day we got up and actually they'd made us pancakes.
Yes.
And sort of bacon and maple syrup. And we're able to just chill out as well. And
it was really nice.
It was really cool just being able to hang around, look out at the fabulous view outside of the house, because that's really cool.
Yeah.
A lot of nature, a lot of nice things to see. Well, some birds and stuff, and a squirrel. That's what I saw, really. But they were nice.
No, it was really, really nice.
And it was cool. And then, as we were leaving, we get a message from our, some of our friends here.
My pizza nemesis.
Your pizza nemesis, Penny Lane and Star-Lord.
Oh, yes. The pizza nemesis strikes again.
Yeah, the Malteser teaser.
Now, I have made some amends with Penny Lane.
Okay.
At our last intimate meet.
Oh, really?
Where we all had the chance to kind of, get our grievances out and make amends over the pizza warfare.
Yeah.
And we got on really well.
Mm.
So when they messaged and said, oh, hey, if you're in the area, do you want to maybe pop by and have a cup of tea on your way home?
Yeah, because they live sort of half an hour, 40 minutes from Clitbang, right?
Exactly. So, whether that was an actual euphemism, hey, do you want to pop in for a cuppa? Or if it was just a genuine, geographically, you're near us, do you want to say hi?
Well, I think it was we are geographically near you.
Okay.
You are on, we are on your flight path home. Do you want to pop in and say hello?
So when we said yes then, in your head, were you anticipating anything other than a cup of tea?
I
be honest.
Genuinely, I didn't know.
But did it occur to you?
Yes.
Okay. Did it occur to you in I hope this happens, or I'm going to assume it's a cup of tea?
I was going with the assumption that it was a cup of tea.
Right.
But it could be more. And I was open to that. That sounded hot. But also I was like, well, it's kind of like early afternoon. It's like midday or whatever. We've had a night out. We've had a sexy time last night. I'm not expecting anything. But also I was thinking, but I do quite...
You are quite greedy.
I'm greedy. And I do like playing with her. And yeah, that was pretty much as far as I get. But my main thought was that I genuinely thought that we were just going for like a cup of tea. And it wasn't,
could we be more British?
A lot of tea was drunk that weekend. So while we were on the way, we kind of... You messaged and said, make sure we've got some lunch. Sort it out, not pizza.
That makes me sound really fucking rude, but I actually did say that.
Yes, that was pretty much it.
I warned them that I was approaching hangry.
You were getting towards that level. So we rocked up to the house. Never been there before. Very nice house. Very lovely. It's not like House Watch, this.
I was going to say, what was this? That's like through the keyhole or something.
Who fucks in a house like this? Anyway, so they welcomed us in, and he'd very nicely, Star-Lord this is, had gone to the shops to get some bread and some bacon and sausage, so we could have like a nice bacon and sausage sandwich while we were there.
With our British cup of tea.
With our British cup of tea. Now, I feel that you do want to take the piss out of him for the way that he cut that bread.
Utter fiasco.
Yeah. Like Edward Scissorhands will be crying in his grave.
That man needs to learn how to slice bread. However, I did promise him afterwards, skipping ahead quite a bit, that I would happily give him some lessons in cutting bread.
Really?
I would happily stand behind him and help him slice the fuck out of some bread.
Love,
exactly that. Very, very happy to do that.
Very happy
and
to do
also,
that.
I don't think he'd like to see me with a sharp knife, but hey.
So we had a nice bite to eat, and we were catching up on all the gossip as ever, and talking about all the things that we've got planned and stuff coming up, like PCAP. By the way, don't forget, if you want to get tickets to PCAP, check the link on the show. Please come along with us. It'll be amazing. 3rd to 6th of June. Thank you very much. See that? That was seamless, right?
Yeah, right.
Ham-fistedly shoved in the middle of that, just in case you're wondering. I'm sure we'll do some adverts for it as we get closer to the time. Anyways, or as we get closer to having some time available to do the adverts. So we had a nice chat with them, and then we all chilled out on their sofa.
Well, he said, should we go and be more comfortable on the sofa?
Which sounded to me, right, and I did say this to him, it was like that awkward moment, the line you use when you're like, hey, why don't we get more comfortable upstairs with less clothes on? Oh my. But it was delivered in that way, but it was like, why don't we just get comfortable on the sofa? I don't know why I'm using that weird.
Me neither. He doesn't sound anything like that.
No, he doesn't. But I'm selling the dream of what was said.
There was a definite kind of progression from, we're sitting at the kitchen table, let's go and sit on the sofa. And the sofa there was only one sofa with 4 seats.
Yeah.
So we all sat on the sofa.
Well, technically, is there just one seat that 4 people can sit on?
I don't know. I didn't look too much about the feng shui of their room and the placement of sofas and chairs. It was just very clear that we were pointed in the direction of the one sofa to sit on together.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. So we all sat on the sofa.
Yeah.
And then we were just really sort of chilling out. They had some Beatles playing in the background, which was my happy place, clearly. Yeah. It was very, very cozy. It's very warm, and it was like Christmas lights sparkling. And then,
so why did we not all take our clothes off?
Well, I don't know. And I wish I did.
Brilliant. Join us next week.
Yeah.
When we figure out why.
So I think because we started talking about lots of personal things and lots of things that have been going on in our lives and their lives. And then the sort of topic got on to sort of more sexy times and talking about that.
I would say we talked about sex 85% of the time.
Yeah, but it didn't start that way. It kind of evolved into that. And
there was an underlying sexual tension.
Literally sat on their sofa with a hard on.
Were you?
Yes.
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 I didn't know. You didn't tell me.
Well, I do 85% of my activities with a hard on.
How many lie downs do you need a day from a rush of blood to your penis?
Oh, it's not filled.
Sorry, guys, I'm going to have to leave this work call. I've got another hard on.
Just got to drain another one out, guys. I'll be back in 2.5 minutes. Don't worry. But it got to the point where I was feeling pretty sexy. And I think by the time we'd all kind of started getting into that definitive mood, it was definitely getting more and more flirty and a little bit more touchy. And then it was pretty much time to go.
But was it?
Well, it kind of was.
How long did you have a hard-on for? The entire visit?
No, not the entire visit. I think it was probably after about 20 minutes of being sat on the sofa.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, we were on the sofa for 4.5 hours, so how I was able to stand up at the end of that, I'll never know to this day.
You must have been drained.
How
on earth did you manage?
I wasn't
how did you
drained.
manage to drive home afterwards?
I wasn't drained in the slightest until we got home.
Oh, God.
But it was a really nice conversation, and it was really fun. And then as we got up to leave, because they had a prior engagement that they had to go to, and then basically it was almost kind of, hey, let's all make out kind of time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Were we all making out with me?
Well, maybe 2.
And as ever, as I've said before, why do you do this and I don't know about it? And then I'm always regretful that I don't do it.
Well, why don't you think about making out more?
Because I'm always assuming that because you haven't made any kind of move or kind of escalation, how am I supposed to know that you're then going to be making out with someone? It makes me look like a fucking cold-hearted bitch that I don't.
Well, so my thought process was thus. Hot lady
me.
Yes. Hot lady comes towards me. Me wants to kiss hot lady kisses me. That was the thought process. What? Yeah, why are you shaking your head at me? The podcast listeners can't see that in the slightest. But anyway, the point that I was making with that is
apparently was very evident.
Was that despite the rather professional and efficient approach to the night before, I think we both, in fact, I would suggest that all 4 of us sat there kind of wanting to escalate, not quite having the right words, but also enjoying the moment where we're all having this great conversation.
Okay.
What we should have gone and said was like, oh, would anyone be interested in doing some naughty things, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then, at a time when there was time enough to do the naughty things and then doing the naughty things. That would have been the best thing to do, or at least tabling it. Like, hey, guys and girls, how do we feel about this? But
so why didn't we?
I don't know. Why didn't we? Why didn't you? How are you feeling?
I was feeling nervous. There you go. I don't
Why were you feeling nervous?
Feel that nervous. I'll tell you for why.
Tell me for why. Yeah.
So
bearing in mind, we are
Yeah.
now halfway through the show and we've
Yeah.
got like a year in review to do before we get to the end as well.
Well, this is nearly the end of the year, so
It's the end of the year as we know
one
it.
of the reasons I was feeling nervous is because at this point we'd only had one previous encounter with them,
Mhm.
which was intimate,
Yeah.
as in which developed in a playtime.
Yeah.
That was really fun, but at the same time, we hadn't kind of revisited that and said, "Oh, hey, should we meet again to do this?"
Yeah, I
it
guess
was a
so.
kind of like, "Oh, we're popping in for our British cup of tea."
And I totally get that. I just thought that the atmosphere was slightly more than a cup of tea while we were all sat there.
I agree.
And
Maybe they can like listen to this and tell us.
yeah,
Please put us out of our
yeah,
misery.
please send this through to us and let us know. Let us know what we could have won.
Apparently, we're really, really inept at spotting things.
Yeah, but this is the thing, and we're really great at working as a team. So that's basically our intro to the show. It only took us
God.
30 odd minutes. So please, Penny Lane, Starlord, tell us what went wrong. And Essex Sprite and Clitbang, thank you for a lovely, lovely evening. We had a marvellous time, and your cooking and your place was all fantastic.
So that ends the wrap up of the year.
That's not the wrap up of the year. We've actually got some top things about 2021 that we wanted to talk about.
Okay.
We thought we'd look back very briefly because everyone does a kind of year in review kind of thing, and they go on forever. So we thought we'd try and squeeze it in approximately 25
after
minutes.
going on forever about one thing.
Yeah, after going on forever about the one weekend, we thought we'd talk about the year in a few minutes.
Excellent. And that's pretty much 2021 only deserves like 4 minutes of their time.
No, it doesn't, because we've picked the top 6 things about
Okay.
2021.
All right.
And
I mean, any particular order?
they are.
Oh.
Whatever order I wrote them down in.
Brilliant.
But I'm going to start with number 6.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter.
Is 6 good or less good?
I don't know. They're all as good as each other, I think.
All right. What's number 6?
All right. I'm going to do it because I want to count it down, but
Do you?
the countdown is meaningless. So
There's only 6.
coming in at number 6, even though it's the same as all the others, is our Patreons. Thank you very much.
You make it sound like I've got 6 Patreons.
We got slightly more than that, slightly more. But what's been really nice is the amount of people that have jumped on to sponsor us some cash to keep things moving and keep things operational in Bedhoppers Castle, and also about the growing interactions that we're starting to see on things like our Patreon that we've got. Sorry, not our Patreon, our Discord chat. People are starting to interact a little bit more, and I really want to sort of kindle that fire and keep it burning and keep people interacting. And of course,
What we need is more Patreons.
yeah, what
So
we need.
we've got more people to chat to.
Yeah, this would be great. And more people to play Fortnite with and all that sort of stuff.
Right, this is turning into like Patreon Fortnite
More
type thing.
Pokemon people for Mrs. H.
Oh, none of them have asked me for Pokemon friends.
Okay,
yet.
Patreon, sort it out. Send her the friend request on Pokemon or whatever it is that you do. I mean, that would be the thing.
But yeah, Patreon, great.
Yeah, join our Patreon. I'll put a link in the show notes. And you can join all the people that are chatting there in the Discord. And then you get behind the scenes stuff occasionally. Sometimes we pull a finger out and do stuff.
I reckon we'll do more.
We will,
Definitely going to do more.
but we just need time to do it. So that'll be happening hopefully over the new year and the Christmas period and all
it
that sort of
definitely
stuff. But thank you very much to everyone who has been part of it and has given us some cash. You've been fantastic. Number five. It's our amazing friends. And, we've made a lot of new friends.
All 5 of them.
All 5 of them. 5 amazing friends. Spider-Man and his amazing friend.
Oh, we're seeing that this week.
Not Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
Well, Spider-Man.
But that would be
and
cool.
some people.
Yeah, Spider-Man and his other mates.
Yeah.
Spider-Mans. Anyways, I want to say a huge thank you to our friends this year. And we've made new ones and we've kept in touch with old ones and we've been able to have sexy times and adventures and we've had very normal, vanilla times
Oh,
with
it's just
people.
been amazing.
They've been supportive. They've had our backs when shit's been hitting the fan. They've put up with our whinging.
Play Fortnite with us.
Yeah, all of that stuff. And I'm not going to name everybody because that feels like it'll take us another 20 minutes on the show.
There's
but
only 5 of them.
only 5 of
You
them.
said.
Okay. But, all the people that we've WhatsApped, Telegrammed, kicked, wired, stayed in touch with on Zoom, all these things. Thank you. You've been incredibly amazing. So
Yeah.
number 4. Right. Our guests, right?
4
The
guests.
4 guests. No, not just 4 guests. The people that we've had on the show over the last year have been absolutely incredible. Many of them have been our friends or have become our friends
I can
thanks to the
remember
show.
some of them.
You can remember some of them? So,
I can remember all of them.
oh, can you?
Yeah.
Off the top of your head?
Oh, God. All right, I can remember Delish Martin.
Yeah.
I can remember.
Oh my God, this is going to take so long.
Oh God, this is painful. Cooper?
Cooper.
There you go, see? What's the other two?
Oh, good grief. We've had the nerdy introverts, we've had Kitty, we had Vanilla Ice, we've had Secret Stag and Secret Vixen.
I had my vulva chat.
You had your vulva chat. Claxon for them.
Yeah.
And we, a whole host of other people that we've had on the show, and they've all been fantastic, and they've all brought a different bit of life, a different bit of background to the show, and given a different voice, which has been, I've been really, really pleased with how all the interviews have gone, to be honest, and we've had such great feedback about them. So thank you, guests. Number three. This is episode 100. Not this one, but this number 3, is all about episode 100.
Oh,
which is,
you mean the absolute
car crash
fiasco with me getting hammered and you getting hammered as well?
Yeah, stay safe.
Stay
and
safe.
all of that stuff.
Stay safe.
Episode 100 was
in all its glory.
Well, it was a massive achievement. I think, I'm incredibly proud of the fact that we got to 100 episodes, and, we're now on 118. If you're listening to this one, thank you, which you probably will because I'm talking. Good, eh? But the fact that we managed to do something that was fun, different, that we got a YouTube thing going again, and that we completely and utterly destroyed our bodies, all for the sake of your entertainment.
Yeah, thanks.
But no, it was. I think it's a really great episode. So it's one of our top 6 things about 2021
an achievement as well.
100%.
I think it was
100% achievement. So number 2.
Okay.
The Borgie. Talk about this, wife.
Oh my God, Borgie. I love the Borgie for so many reasons. It was a culmination of many sexy friends, some of which we met for the first time, but had kind of already made friends with virtually. It was just an incredible night from start to finish, and I couldn't ask for a better sexy adventure. I mean, obviously there were costumes as well and a fun game. But there was also so much naughty fun.
I think it's the combination of, as you said, the friends, the naughty fun, and those little moments that have become part of our vernacular, part of our conversation so many times. And Don't Stop Me Now absolutely cracks me up, and so does Dirty Dancing In with a Naked Dance Troupe. The 360 camera of what happened, the crossing the threshold. Yeah, the going into a different room. All of that stuff made it a fantastic experience and one of the highlights of the year.
I just had a great time.
It was great.
I can't wait for another Borgie.
Another Borgie. Okay. In at number 1.
Oh my God, what is number 1?
1.
Is it me?
Social.
It's me.
It's the social.
Oh, I thought it's me.
God damn it, woman.
In fact, why is it not you? Because you're normally number 1 in
It's
your
the
world.
social that I mostly
No, wait a
organised
minute.
with you.
Wait a moment. Let's take that back a step because I'm not having that.
I mostly organised it with you.
That sounds like a loaded comment.
No, but it's exactly what I said and what we did.
No,
I
but
mostly organised it with you.
But it makes it sound like you did more of the organisation than I did. I'm not having that. You can fuck off. And then you can fuck off when you get there and fuck off again.
Anyway, the social was for us, and I'm speaking on behalf of both of us here because I normally do. It was a real triumph for us. I think we'd waited a couple of years to get it off the ground. We've talked about it endlessly. We talked about getting it there for an age, and we've talked about it after that point for an age. But the atmosphere, the people there, the combination, the whole thing was just amazing. And we may have shit ourselves about getting there and getting it all done and being ill before and all this kind of stuff. But actually, it went fucking all right on the night. And
it was so good to go to another.
So good that we are, trying.
An even bigger one.
An even bigger, but not necessarily better, but equally as good one. Which you can come along to when we announce the details pretty soon, right?
And no doubt you'll mostly organise it with me next time as well.
Well, I don't. I'll mostly organise it with you, I suppose. But
bugger off. Mr.
Thank you to everyone that helped with the social, and not just.
You're welcome.
Yeah, like you especially. Not just the people that turned up, but the people that donated gifts and prizes, the people that promoted it, that promoted us, all that kind of stuff was absolutely fantastic. Thank you very, very much.
And here's to an even bigger one.
Yes, and a bigger social as well.
Wow. Wow.
Anyway, we also have 3 bad things about 2021. And you might well guess what these are going to be. So we're not going to dwell too much on these.
No.
But
no, of course not.
Coming in at number 3, you know, one of the things that has really, really annoyed me this year is just the fact that there seems to be more assholes crawling out of the woodwork in terms of messages that we get, whether that's on Fab, Twitter, email, that just
Oh, God.
idiocracy that comes across. It's nuts.
Staggering. And especially off the back of when pandemic things first broke, I remember saying way back when it all happened that it really did seem to divide people into 2 camps of they're either complete asshats or they turn into like awesome people. And this has had its fair share of asshats this year.
Yeah, well,
not just with pandemic stuff, but just, as you say, crawling at the woodwork.
Well, that does lead us on to number 2, which is COVID itself. And
oh, fuck COVID.
It's been such a massive cock blocker, but it's also had so many impacts on how you see people, on how people act. And it's been it's divided opinions, and you know, just looking at the world out there, it really has changed things.
And now it's enjoying another resurgence once again.
Yeah, I mean, once Unicron's gone, we'll probably have another one, probably called Megatron, and you know, then there'll be Starscream and all the other Transformers.
It's just not going away, is it?
No, but it's been
just bugger off.
I think where it's sort of hit us the most, obviously there's been issues with health and on your birthday and all that sort of stuff, but it also means that it's impossible to plan things half the time, and you know, you kind of everything you put into the diary seems to be you know, a real will it go ahead or not, depending on what's happening with the country.
But you know what, when things do go ahead with lots of careful planning and lots of planning around the kind of risk factors that emerge with COVID, at least when they do happen, we know that they're very safe and they're totally worth waiting for.
This is very, very true.
And if it's taught me one thing, it's actually I take my health seriously anyway, but I take it even more seriously now and other people's health. So
absolutely,
you know, at least we're all a lot safer and cleaner in our approach to things now.
Well, I think this is, like you say, this has meant that we think about this sort of stuff a whole lot more.
Yeah.
And it means that it's, in a way, it's quite often to sort the wheat from the chaff, depending on how they interact around this whole thing. Yeah,
and very often people's approaches to things like, you know, this virus has kind of, in your head, it's kind of like, oh, right, well, now I know how you feel about this, and how do you feel about other things, which we take very seriously, but maybe other people don't.
And coming in at number 1.
Oh, yeah.
This is the menopause.
Oh, fuck my life. The menopause can fuck off. I'm so done with it. Oh, God. It's, yeah. I mean, whilst I'm regaining some level of control over it, it's not easy. And it hasn't really gone away.
Bitch now, menopause.
I'm sad to say it's not my bitch yet. But I'm working on it. And I think it's just going to be a long process. And there's going to be ups and downs. Some of that is seasonal because, you know, hot weather is always going to be more uncomfortable. But actually the cold weather is really miserable as well because central heating is not my friend. I can't really win.
You're more hot and cold than a bloody Katy Perry song.
Oh, it's just vile. It's just the worst. But I will say I am even more passionate now about trying to raise awareness of it, trying to help people who might be going through it and not knowing what to do. At least I can speak from some experience. And whilst I may not be a doctor and have all the answers, I can at least help share an experience and listen to people and maybe help them be signposted to good places where they can get some relief.
Absolutely. And it's been great because you've been able to do some of that in your work and you've been able to talk to people.
Ways. Lots of people have reached out to me. It's just incredible how many people are kind of going through similar things, and it's just nice to talk.
Well, that and, you know, listeners and people who follow the show have been in touch about the similar sort of things and talking about their lives. And it's really important to recognise that people aren't on their own, and, you know, to be able to talk to somebody else about it and share experiences, even if it's not the same thing, can be incredibly useful. So, you know, whilst it's been a fucking awful ride for you, I think some good has come out of it, and that you've been able to help other people with your suffering, which is kind of like our podcast. You know, we've been able to hopefully help people with their own suffering.
Our own suffering.
So, Mrs. H.
Yes.
Those are the 3 bad things. Okay. Rounding up, we're going to look to next year, to 2022.
Okay.
All right. We've got 3 things for that, right?
All right. What's happening next year? We've got PCAP. PCAP.
You just sport number 1, but fine.
But everyone knows it's going to be PCAP.
Fine. It's not...
Because we've talked about it.
All right, we're doing PCAP next year.
It's going to be bloody brilliant.
It's going to be bloody brilliant.
And I'll tell you for why.
Tell me for why.
And menopause can fuck off if it's going to spoil that. No, it's not. And COVID can fuck off because that's not going to happen. We're going to navigate that.
We're going to destroy COVID.
And body image isn't going to destroy it because I'm working on that.
Mm-hmm.
And all the other things which might crop up and be
Hang on. The other thing that normally gets us is being drunk. So are we drinking lots now to get used to drinking loads for when we go to PCAP?
No, I've actually been really good. She says drinking a Negroni.
Oh my God, we've become like our old style podcast. What are you drinking?
What
cocktail have you got?
Been really bloody good lately.
What's on the TV in the background? We don't know because we're now in a podcast room. I'm very sorry.
No, I've been really good. And I'm very, very focused on making sure I don't look like a bloody big menopausal blancmange.
Menopausal blancmange?
Yeah.
That's my third band.
I've moved on from lasagnas.
No more punch lasagna. Since you found out what that really means.
Correct.
Yes.
And I've moved on from mashed potatoes and now I'm
you're a rusty flange.
Big menopausal blancmange.
Well, it's good that you mentioned.
I'm working on being less blancmange-like and more sponge finger.
Well, nothing focuses you up like a little bit of travel, which leads me on to
I've got a date now. So now I've got an image in my mind and a date to focus on.
This is number 2.
Very focused.
Is travelling, more travelling.
Yes.
So, one of the things we hope is that COVID fucks off, or at least we're able to get out more safely.
But we
it won't.
can navigate it.
But we can work our way around it safely and, work within the regulations that exist there. But hopefully, with PCAP on the horizon, we should hopefully be able to see some of our friends across the States as well while we're there, which would be really, really cool. And you never know what may happen at the back end of the year where we may be able to go as well. So I'm really hopeful that we can do some cool things. And, I still want to do the delightful, hey, let's haul up with, 12 of us an Airbnb and have a party weekend somewhere.
Yeah. I want to do as much kind of seeing people as possible next year.
Yeah. We've got all new friends to meet next year as well and some old ones to bring with us along the journey. So that'd be cool. And finally, we've mentioned the social. So next year, social version 2. I'm very hopeful as well that we'll get a version 3 in there as well.
Current working date for Social 2 is 4th of February. And yes, I think we could possibly get a version 3.
I reckon we can do that. No problem. We'll have the revenge of the social. But what I hope that we can do is book the date far in advance that everyone knows that it's there and keep that date in their calendar. Exactly. I know that the 4th of Feb is quite soon and that not everyone will be able to go. And that's just a reality, and we're sorry if that's the case for you.
But it's always going to be the case. There's always going to be some dates, no matter what you pick in the future, but someone somewhere's not going to be able to go. Exactly. And we're sorry.
Yeah, we're so very sorry.
Yeah.
But we are excited because I think the social was such a wonderful experience. And the people that came were fantastic, and the interactions and the friendships that have been made off the back of that. It's even today we had, friends told us that other friends that went to the social have been in touch and set up a little WhatsApp group.
That's made me really happy. And that's exactly why we did it, because we wanted people to be able to connect and network and find
new
friends.
people to have sex with, right?
That is not the reason we did it.
Oh, that's not the reason why you did it.
Thinking with the penis again.
No. I'm thinking with your penis.
Oh, what now?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nobody's ever been this clever.
Don't try and baffle me with some strange Star Trek logic again.
There's no Star Trek logic there. Logic.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that rounds up our summary of the year and the summary of last weekend. We managed to do the year quicker than we did the weekend, which probably says a lot about both, I guess. I think it
says more about your storytelling skills.
Probably. I think I work best when I've got bullet points clearly and things written down.
And as ever, I work best with no notes.
And a Negroni.
And a Negroni.
Yeah, that does help you.
Always.
So to sum it up, right?
Yeah.
PCAP's coming soon, 3rd to 6th of June.
Yeah.
If you want to come along, we'll put a link in the thing. Have a look at that. See what you think. It would be great to see you there. We're really, really excited. We've had lots of people getting in touch to say they're going.
Yeah.
And we can't wait.
It's not just us going.
No, it's not just us going.
It's going to be fully amazing, fun few days.
It's going to be more loaded than some trash can nachos.
Oh, nachos.
Nachos. Social-wise, obviously, as soon as it's booked, we'll let our patrons know. Yeah. We'll let the people that went to the last social know. And then we'll open it up to listeners and friends of the show. Yes. So hopefully we can have quite a lot of you there and more than we had last time. So hopefully you'll be able to come along and see us there, which will be cool. And then in the new year, we may well be making a club visit. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Oh, yeah.
So once we can tell you about that, we'll put that out as well.
Yeah.
Which will be cool.
Lots of fun things to look forward to.
Exactly. And, there's New Year to go yet.
But you should all stay safe out there.
Stay safe. Stay safe. I can't even say it anymore. I couldn't say it when I was drunk, and I can't say it now.
Stay safe.
Say safe.
Exactly.
Exactly that.
The number of people who'd say that to us now.
It's getting
Stay
slightly frightening. Anyway, Mrs. H, do you want to do your thing?
Yeah, I do. It's been an amazing year. So thank you for hopping into our bed.
So what are we doing now then? You know what we're going to do? We're going to sing jingle bells.
Oh, God, no.
Yay!
No, but I don't like jingle bells.
Dashing through the snow on one horse open sleigh.
I think you're going to get sued for copyright if you do this.
What? Nah,
you told me there was some copyright issues.
Laughing all the way.
That's the wrong key.
What's a key?
Exactly. You don't know what keys are.
La 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 la.
You can't just make up keys as you go along.
La lee. La 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 la. That wasn't even D. Oh.